let us move on to the penultimate speaker of the symposium. It is on Avadhuta tradition by Sri Dasari Narasimha. He is now a researcher at the Bharatiya Adhyayana Kendra at Banaras Hindu University. Banaras Hindu University, the Bharatiya Adhyayana Kendra, we have collaborated many times. We physically went to Banaras. We conducted our conferences at the Bharatiya Adhyayana Kendra in Banaras Hindu University. We are very glad to see a student from that place coming for an online conference. And it is encouraging to see that the next generation is getting ready for such wonderful research works. And he has taken a very, very interesting topic called the Avadhuta tradition. He has taken the case study, an example of an Avadhuta called Kashi Reddy Nayana. Uh, Myself being a Telugu person like him, I know the widespread popularity and widespread reception for Kashi Reddy Nayana all through the Telugu speaking areas. And I'm very glad to see a young person working on this particular Avadhuta and his tradition as a case study for the Avadhuta type of sannyasa. This is Avadhuta type of sannyasa comes under the unorganized aspects of sannyasa. Actually, it is not like a matha sannyasa. These people are not associated with any matha, whether Vaishnava, Smarta, or Shaiva mathas. They lived alone, separately, as all by themselves. Some of them even do not actually, their early part of their life is also not known kind of people. So these are all enigmatic individuals. So in the classification of sannyasa, these two, Nath, we had Mihir Keshari talking about Natha traditions, sadhus. And this Avadhuta is even more unorganized. It is even more beyond an organizational, institutionalized sannyasa. So, welcome, Dasari Narasimha Garu, for taking up such a wonderful topic. I'm so glad and proud of you. Please go ahead and present.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. I would like to thank INDICA for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, we'll start. Okay. First, the very literal meaning of the word Avadhuta, it means one who has cast off. Cast off means what they cast off and what they become after that. We'll see as we go through it. Dattatreya is considered as the initial Avadhuta. He's like whatever forms that we see as Avadhuta in this world, they are being associated as a form of Dattatreya or that tradition, usually by the people. So I would like to do my pranams to Guru Dattatreya before I start. And then I'll use this to actually start off with explaining what Avadhuta means. Yesterday I got this from the sir itself. So Avadhuta Karma Jalaha. The Avadhuta, what does he cast off? He cast off his net of karma, whatever karma bandhanas he will be having or they will be having, that is being cast off. And then they appear like a madman, a mute, or a blind person. They don't really show off their intelligence, or they are someone who appear like a very normal person, or someone who might even appear very odd or out of the box kind of person, having abandoned the entanglement of scriptures. They're not even bound by the scriptures, as Sir has said. They're not even like bound by the scriptures or any particular tradition or some rules or anything. They're like absolute free souls, absolute free people roaming on the earth, and with that consciousness, like they are the Parabrahma. With that understanding, they are like absolute free people. In this only, I'd like to take one reference. In Mahanirvana Tantra, there is one sadhana. Initially, there is one Brahma sadhana being given. In that, it is said that once a person becomes or attains that state of Parabrahma, it is said that they become absolutely free, and whatever they perform or they do is considered as a tradition. That's how it is like. So the person who, like, Avadhuta is a similar kind of person who is like absolutely free, and they don't really practice a particular thing or do things in a certain way. For example, if you take there's one example we get from the Dattatreya story only, where Parashurama sees him as with an alcohol pot and a woman next to him. So those kind of things they do, and they're like absolute free. And then we have free from pride associated with birth and social status. Uh, they don't take any pride. uh, yeah, that's very obvious. Once someone becomes enlightened, or one knows that the true reality, they don't really associate anything that they get from their birth or social status. They're absolutely free, and they're very approachable. That's one more thing that's very unique about them. Since they're not bound by any traditions or any matha or any scripture or anything, they're absolutely like, they're very approachable. People don't see them as, if someone sees someone as someone who's of high status, then it becomes difficult to approach them. They might feel, what if I do something wrong, then I might get cursed or something. What if I disturb their tapasya or something? That kind of feeling will be there. In the case of Avadhuzas, it's not there. They're very uh, well going with the people. They're very approachable to the masses. And then seeing the complete presence in all beings everywhere, yeah, again, same thing, they see the divine presence in all living beings. This means all, irrespective of whether they are like, they worship gods or they follow rituals or they are drunkard or they're normal people or they eat meat, or irrespective of what they are, they see the divine presence and they guide them to their next level of, what do you say, they uplift those people. That kind of seeing the divinity in everyone and then uplifting them. And then they roam secretly. Sometimes they appear to people and they sometimes roam secretly. They don't even be visible. Like even in the case of Kashi Reddy Nayana, when Avadhusas they appear, they are not they're not, popularity is not so vast. They come for a certain purpose, they do certain things, and they go. People don't even uh, what do you say, they don't popularize themselves. They keep themselves to the purpose, and they, whatever they come for, they do it. So here only one more thing I would like to mention is when gods, we see avatars coming in, we see many forms of Vishnu and everything coming in. And then they're like grand forms, and then there are forms that are very minor. There are forms that Bhagavan takes only to address certain people. Maybe even it could be just to address one person also. That can also happen, and that should be, there should be something, what do you say, that mindset should be there, that when God comes, he don't comes in all times, he don't come in a grand scale. He sometimes comes just for one person, just for one sect, or just for one cause. And then, like a fool, though he knows the essence of all scriptural truth, so they roam like a fool, kind of very normal people. So with this context, I would like to introduce Kashi Reddy Nayana. Uh, this is a person, and he takes his birth in Bedsupalle Gramam. It's in Sitaramapuram Mandalam, Nellore district. It's a hilly area kind of place, and his life goes very normally. Like, yeah, I would like to tell about their parents also. There, Munneli Subba Reddy and Kashamma. In the initial days of his life, he loses his parents, and then he moves to their relatives' place and gets his education, and then gets into farming and all normal life he went through. And then slowly he starts getting interest in the spiritual things, or adhyatma bhava he gets. And then he goes in seeking for a guru, and then he meets his guru Atiraja Guruvaya Swami, uh, and he gets his diksha from him. And Then he does a tapasya, intense tapasya for around 12 years in the hills of Garudadri. Garudadri are the hills where Garutmanta is said to have did tapasya uh, and have attained darshan of Lord Mahavishnu and became his Vahana. So in that place itself, it's a very dense forest full of wild animals and all. It is also said that when few people have seen animals being calmly like going down to Kashi Reddy Nayana and all. So he did this 12-year of long tapasya in those hills and gets the darshan of Lord Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha Swami. And when he gets the darshana, it is said that when we get darshan of Bhagavan, Bhagavan asks, "What do you want?" And then he says, "I want mukti. I want liberation." And then Bhagavan says, "There are things that needs to be done by you, so you live your life completely, and then at the end you will get the mukti." And that way, Bhagavan guides him towards Devalaya Punaruddharana, Jeernodharana. That is uh, renovating, not renovating. Jeernodharana is rebuilding the temples that are being lost, that are where places, temples, where in temples the pujas and all have been stopped. So those kind of temples. So he's been told to rebuild. And also he does a tapasya to Mata Annapurneshwari and gets her blessings as well. And it is said that wherever uh, he popularizes this idea of annadanam, and so wherever his ashrama is established or wherever his temples are there annadanam happens and without any interruption, and people voluntarily come and donate and manage those things. There's no force or nothing, so it goes like that. So some of the famous temples that he has uh, renovated are the Ahobilam Navanasimha temple, the Diguva Ahobilam, that's the Ahobilam below the main Ahobilam temple. It is said in this place, Lord Narasimha has appeared. Yeah, like the Lord Narasimha has appeared for the first time. There is an iron pillar also where it is said that from that pillar that's a mark of that pillar where Narasimha has come out from. And there is a school of Prahlada. There is a place water body where we show where it is said that after killing Hiranyakashipa, Narasimha Swami has washed his hands there, all that. And we have Omkareshwara temple, and then we have Siddheshwara temple. It is said that at this place so many siddhas have done tapasya and all. There is Varikunta Papanasheshwara temple. There is Lingamaya Konda. This is very close to my place. Lingamaya Konda, there is one Guru Buggai Nayana. He's one of the very closest shishya of Kashi Reddy Nayana. He comes from Karnataka. He comes all the way from Karnataka by walk to meet Nayana, and then he dedicates his life to the service of Kashi Reddy Nayana. And there is at this place now they are building temple of Nayana, and there is a temple of Lord Shiva as well. And Kalki Bhagavan temple is also there. And yeah, that's it. And there also, and in every place there is this annadanam happening every time. And then we have Bhanumandal Lakshmi Narayana temple. That's also a very famous temple that he has renovated. So in all this, like today we see that struggling to renovating or rebuilding temples, or we kind of not really, I feel, not really understand the importance of temples. And I used to think like, why is it so important to renovate or bring back those temples? What is so great about these temples? And then I see that there is that those temples, our societies, our cultures are built around temples, and temple becomes the center of our all activities. And if there's no temple, without temples there can't be dharma being established, and there can't be artha also, there can't be unity between among the people. So a lot of things that come in with temple, and I feel that's why it's very important to have temples. And that is one of the purpose that he has served. And one incident that I would like to share is once he was going to like one renovate one temple, and there some people who were drinking invites him So one thing happens is they invite him to drink. So he goes. So he says that what's there in this? It's nothing. And he asks them to give the drink, and he has the drink. He has so many drinks. Like he almost finishes all of their drink, and then he's still stable. And he says, "What's there in this?" That way, see these kind of things that Avadhutas do. They don't restrict themselves, and they show the full potential of their energies or powers, and then that way they bring changes into the people. So this is one example. Yeah, and then yeah, and then on December 6th, 1995, Magashira Shuddha Paurnami. So he leaves his body, and it happens exactly at when he reaches 100 years of his lifetime. And also he leaves his body consciously. He knows he's going to leave his body at that time before. And then yeah, every year during this time there is a what is utsavas happening at his place. He leaves his body, and his samadhi is in this Jyoti Kshetram in Kashinayana Mandalam itself. It's near Milla, one place. Yeah. Uh, then I would like to say one thing. So this question comes in, right? So if a person is enlightened, or if they have learned all scripture, or they have realized that godliness, why someone has to really help people? Why they have to stay back and do perform things? It's because when someone enlightens, like I'd like to take this reference from Mahanirvana Tantra again. Uh, Here God says, "Krite Vishwahite Devi Vishvesha Parameshwari." Prito bhavati vishvatma yato vishvam tadarshita. Uh, the Paramatma, the Parabrahma, the world is like his own soul. Everything resides in himself, and whatever welfare or whatever good that is done to this world, he uh, gets pleased by that. Also, with this understanding that everything that is there is the only is one thing only, right? So that way they stay back and they do all these things. Uh, then yeah, this is the person. Wait, I'll mute. Yeah, this is a place where his samadhi is being there. It's the temple. It is in construction now. It's halted, I guess, because now the government wants to take over the temple. Like they want to bring this under their control. That is the samadhi. And one more thing I would like to mention. Also, when Avadhutas, in the case of Avadhutas, since they are not belonging to any identity, as I said, everyone feels very approachable, very uh, nice to be with them and all. Like so here we see that even Muslims, even other religious people also come to these temples, and they also take blessing. There are people who have become like very great devotees of Kashi Reddy Nayana. So that's how the influence will be when a being or when an Avadhuta comes in. So they are approachable irrespective of identities and irrespective of people's positions and all. So this is the temple, and I would like to end with this stotram on Nayana. अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक राजाधिराज राजयोगी राज सच्चिदानंद परब्रह्म सकल देवता स्वरूप सकल साधु स्वरूप सकल जीव कोटि स्वरूप अनंत विश्व स्वरूप अपार करुणा सागर अमोघ अद्वितीय अनंत प्रेम मंदिर कृपाकर आपद बांधव शरणागत वत्सल श्री गुरुदेव दत्तात्रेय स्वरूप ಶ್ರೀ ಗರುಡಾದ್ರಿ ತಪಸ್ಸಮಾಧಿ ನಿವಾಸ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಾನುಮಂಡಲ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಜೀರ್ಣೋದ್ಧಾರಣ ದೇವಾಲಯ ಪುನರಂಕಿತ ನಿರ್ಮಾತ ಶ್ರೀ ಯೋಗಾನಂದ ಪ್ರದಾತ श्री वीर भोग वसंतराय अवतारा, श्री वीर ब्रह्मेंद्र, श्री 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 काशी विश्वनाथ, श्री ज्योति क्षेत्र निवास, श्री काशी रेड्डी नायना, पाहि माम, रक्ष माम. Yeah, with that, I'd like to talk a little about this. If you see all these descriptions that are being given, Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, Raja, Sachidananda Prabhu, people, somebody has written this, and they, all this, if you see, all this is like some small bite of all the Vedanta Darshana kept in one small thing, saying that minute form, whatever has come to me in the form of Avadhuta, is nothing but that Parabrahma that has been spread all over everywhere, and all that omnipresent, omnipotent God. So yeah, that's the kind of influence these Avadhutas have on people, and they continue to have that influence even today. That influence continues to have people, continues to develop those temples, build the temples, do annadana. One example is my village itself. I would like to say a lot of so our village, there have been so many conversion attempts happened, and people continue to follow the Hindu dharma because of someone like Kashi Reddy Nayana has come and has shown that thing, that has shown that what do you say, the Parabrahma influence, or what is that godliness. So they continue to be there. That kind of influence is there on a lot of people. So that kind of work these Avadhutas do, and they do, and they remain. Yeah, that's it. That's it, I guess.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much,
thank you.
Narasimha. We want more youngsters like you to get into research, and you in future you might have to probably work more with regard to documentation, referencing,
Mm,
and a more academically rigorous paper. But
yeah,
this was a very good edition of a very wonderful topic. Avadhuta tradition of sannyasa definitely filled a big gap in our symposium. Thank you very much for filling that gap. And a youngster like you being interested in such traditions is a great promise for the future of this country, for the future of our traditions. And I am able to see a great zeal in you for preserving these traditions.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely. I mean,
I
I'm very much interested in knowing, and that way they preserve anyway. They anyway preserve, I guess, by
yeah,
themselves.
definitely that the astha in you, that belief that they are working through you, is also typically a beautiful Hindu traditionality. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.